How's it going, guys? Bluegrass Sports Media here, and today we're going to do a spring preview of the 2022 Kentucky running back room going into the spring. But before we get in the video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe down below if you like these videos. I'm going to be making a video on each position group coming out. I've already done quarterbacks and receivers. This would be the third one. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So, whenever you talk about Kentucky's running back room in 2022, you have to start with Chris Rodriguez. Chris Rodriguez, the incumbent starter from last year. In 2021, he had 225 attempts for 1,379 yards and 9 touchdowns. I mean, he's just a bowling ball of a running back. I mean, it seems like he never goes backwards, always going forward kind of running back. He is 1,134 yards away from breaking the immortal Benny Snell's record for rushing yards here at Kentucky. I'm a huge fan of C-Rod. I'm really excited about see what he can do in 2022. There are only two things I'm worried about in 2022 with C-Rod. In 2021, he had a little bit of a fumbling problem. He fumbled a few times in inopportune situations. So he needs to clean that up in 2022, as well as there's a lot of offensive line turnover in 2022, losing 3 offensive linemen to the NFL and Luke Fortner, Dare Rosenthal, and Darian Kennard. So replacing those guys is going to be very hard. I do have a lot of faith in Kentucky. We've always developed offensive linemen very well. I think it's one of the things that Coach Stoops and his staff prides himself on. So I'm not that concerned about it. It's very hard to replace 3 guys that are probably going to play in the NFL. So Chris Rodriguez probably is definitely the number 1 guy in the Kentucky running back room. So let's move on to number 2. Kavosiey Smoke. Kavosiey Smoke had 81 carries last year, 416 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kavosiey Smoke excites me a little bit because Coach Rich coming in from San Francisco, he likes San Francisco. The backs they like are explosive, home run hitting kind of backs. Just look at Raheem Mostert and Elijah Mitchell. Kavosiey Smoke is definitely one of those guys. He's got the explosive speed to break runs. I think the zone run system is going to be his kind of system. He's a very cutback kind of back. So I'm excited to see Kavosiey Smoke in 2022. The only thing about Kavosiey is, he's got a great back in front of him like Chris Rodriguez. I don't know how much of the split of the carries he will get. I know he will probably be the relief back for Chris Rodriguez. So, maybe he comes in and proves himself and gets himself a little bit more of the carries, and we get a little bit more of a 60-40 split in the backfield. So I'm really excited to see Kavosiey Smoke this year and see how he transitions into Coach Rich's offense. Third on the list is Jaton Mclean. Jaton Mclean stood in for Kavosiey Smoke last year during the bowl game as a second back. He got 10 carries in replacement of Kavosiey. Just a pretty good running back. Not really a lot to talk about Jaton Mclean. He had 34 carries for 165 yards and a touchdown. 10 of those was in replacement. I can see Jaton coming in and, getting some carries. And if injuries were to happen, I can see him coming in and playing a bigger role. But this year, I think it's going to be mostly Kavosiey Smoke and Chris Rodriguez. I look forward to the future of Jaton Mclean. I think after Chris Rodriguez is gone, it's going to be him and Kavosiey Smoke kind of splitting the carries. But for this year, I think he's kind of relegated to that third back role. Maybe he comes in on third down. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of guys who are going to get reps this year at Kentucky at running back. It's a very deep running back room, 3 deep running backs. So looking into the future as far as developmental prospects go, I've only found one guy that I really can hang my hat on. I know some people are going to say Michael Drennan, but he's a converted receiver, I believe, so I'm not really that high on him. My guy for the future is Lavelle Wright. Lavelle Wright of the 2021 class is a 6-foot-tall, 204-pound running back. This guy fits the mold that Kentucky wants at running back. He kind of has the same body type as I won't say a Benny Snell or a C-Rod. He's a little bit below them as far as like pure size, but given the weight room and another year in the weight room, I think he can develop into about probably 210, 215. And I think he's a prototypical running back here in Kentucky that can probably contribute by his junior year, hopefully. That's the only problem I found when doing this research is that Kentucky doesn't really have a whole lot of young running backs on the roster. So I think they may attack, after Chris Rodriguez leaves, they may attack the transfer portal for a running back. And with the great success we've had at running back, it probably won't be very hard to convince a very, very good running back to come to Kentucky. But go ahead and leave a like, subscribe down below. Like I said, I'm going to be making these videos quite often. I've already put out 2. Yeah, guys, have a good day. I appreciate you watching.